How you doing? Bobby D here, and welcome to a special edition of the RoBE. The RoBE presents Where to Next, the stories of my trips that I did years ago. But I want you to meet my cat, Buttercup. You know, my little kitty. My little kitty. Buttercup, are you gonna let me tell my stories? Buttercup, are you gonna let me tell my stories? This is how my cat is sometimes because she's been playing with my comics, and I don't want to ruin them. But these are the stories, because today on the special edition of the RoBE, I'm going to tell you a couple of stories of my trips from Minneapolis, Minnesota in 2003, Helsinki, Finland in 2005, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin in 2007. I don't know how long that this will take, but this is a live stream, so here we go. It all starts off with Minnesota. Buttercup. Minnesota bound. To get things you want to work for them, and none of this was right. For the past couple of years, I haven't had an A for effort in club participation. I think I've been taking vitamin F. One day during a fundraising drive for the spaghetti dinner, Tammy was talking about the future fundraisers. There were many good ones, but I said, let's do a bowl-a-thon. Tammy loved the idea. However, she didn't know anything about the sport of bowling, so I helped her plan to make a successful fundraiser. It had huge headliners: the City of Lowell, Brunswick Zones 1 and 2, UMass Lowell students, Greater Lowell, Peace and Justice, and of course, No Surrender. Brunswick Zone donated the lanes and shoes. We've even got the mayor of Lowell and the manager of the Brunswick Zone the bowl in this blockbuster fundraising event. We raised over $6,000 for the conference. I was an underdog in the selection process. My chances were slim to none. Most of my allies in my family were backing me up. First, they told me to write a letter. I thought the letter was okay, but when the selection committee read the letter, it was questionable. They talked about the change from last year to this year. How I changed from how I now work to get what I want for the club. When Elaine called me into her office at the selection committee meeting, I was very nervous. After they read the letter and we found a discussion, I heard the best news I heard in years. I, Bobby Dia, Public Relations Director, Clubhouse Development Board Member, I am going to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yahoo! Now I've stepped up to the big leagues. I cannot wait until I touch Minnesota ground with my big feet. I'm going to network with every clubhouse from around the world. I'm going to have such a good time. Might even go to the Mall of America. You want to know who's going with me? Well, George, Edie, Kathy, Sharon, and of course Elaine. You will find out how it went in the November newsletter. Right now, I've got it back. Now, this is my trip to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and did my daily routine, but very early. I was very nervous. I haven't been on a plane since I was 16. My house dropped me off at 6:45 to be one of the early birds. Then Jack showed up to open the club for some coffee. Then Lane showed up with some Krispy Kreme donuts. Traitor. After that, everyone else swaggered in, and we left the club on time at precisely 7:30. We made it to the airport a little bit early, but made it on time. We left Manchester before 10 o'clock and arrived at Newark International Airport right after 11:30, almost noontime. 35 minutes after, we left Newark to reach our final destination, Minneapolis, Minnesota. We arrived a little bit before 3:30. It was raining hard. When I got into downtown Minneapolis, I was in an adrenaline rush. Me and my roommate George checked into our room. Yes, it was a pain carrying my luggage to the 15th floor. Then we went to the 4th floor to register for the conference. I took a nice long shower. It was relaxing. Everyone was so nice to us. I called my mother to tell her I survived the long flight. Everybody back home was so proud of me that I was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Thank you, Minneapolis, for the skywalk. Perfect for going to any place that you want to go. I went to a couple of bridges to see the sights. It's also nice to go between hotels. The wagon was off the hook. Look, many dignitaries were there. People from other clubhouses from around the world. Scotland, Canada, England, Finland, the United States, and two of my favorites, Hong Kong and Japan. After reception, I went to the Hard Rock Cafe and had a burger, fries, and a nice cola. Surprisingly enough, I went to bed earlier than normal on a Saturday night. I woke up earlier than usual, almost 5 o'clock in the morning, Central Time Zone. I checked out the gym. It was boring. The only good thing in the gym was a steam room and a sauna, nothing fancy. I took a shower, got dressed, and went downstairs to the great hall to start getting autographs and passing out a special package to some other clubhouses that we couldn't mail because of postal issues. The package contained one Spirit of Renaissance newsletter, one print of a top story, and one copy of the second story written by yours truly, of course, to be published in our next quarterly. But that is not all about me. It's about a convention and a summit wrapped into a major clubhouse conference. By 7 o'clock, breakfast was served. On the menu was an egg dish, hash browns, bacon, many sweet pastries. To drink was orange juice and coffee round off the breakfast. By 8:30, the waiters and waitresses told us to clear out so they can get ready for the opening session that was mandatory. We all rendezvoused at the table near the stage. The opening meeting was a radio show called Northwoods Radio. It was brought to you by Yasha! And You Betcha, the official deodorants of Minnesotans everywhere. It was an outtake of Parade Home Companion. And it was nice. My favorite was the Bistro Sisters and their flaming fiddles. The only act was questionable was Art Deco faculty member, because they portrayed my favorite politician, Jesse the Body Ventura. I didn't like it. It was a little bit funny, then it became serious when they showed a slideshow that everyone got off their feet and cheered. Then came the first preliminary, where the brand new colors were showcased, including me and Shannon's favorite, Tokyo, Japan, Clubhouse Avataki. We both liked the schmooze for the Asian invasion. I also liked Vincent House in Florida. It was like the first certified clubhouse in Florida after the meeting. I bought one of the Sister CDs, then went to Northwoods Radio and schmoozed with the crowd to prepare them for tonight's activities. I did not have lunch with the club because it was too crowded, so I went for a walk. I was lost for a few minutes. I went to my room and I was getting ready for the first workshop. The first workshop I went to was about hotlines, warm lines, and it was very interesting. There were a lot of questions answered, and it was fun. Then I went to the nearest drugstore to get me some one-time use cameras for the rest of the conference. I had dinner at the hotel bar, and I had a Marriott burger with bacon, cheese, mayonnaise, and grape poupon, with onion rings, Heinz 57, and a big pile of French fried potatoes, a big kosher pickle, and a cold draft refillable Coke. Great gosh almighty, it was no joke. Then I went to the wrestling for tonight's karaoke party. This is when I tried a new drink called LaCroix, one of Minnesota's 5 mineral spring soda waters, and it was refreshing. I sang Cheeseburger in Paradise, Butterfly Kisses by Request, and Babe. I finished my supper in my room before I went to bed. Big day tomorrow. I woke up earlier than usual and did my daily routine, got more Argos, take some pictures, and have a good breakfast of champions. Before the first meeting, I was back at Northwoods Radio, talking about the night before and feeling down because the Asian invasion didn't show up for the karaoke party. The workshop that I went to was about member leadership, and it was very interesting. I left a little bit early to check my email at a special internet campaign that the ICD set up for us. The refreshments were so delicious, better than the lunch that was served that day. I got ready for the tour of BL Place Clubhouse in Minneapolis. I went down on the ground floor and I hear that we might have a delay of the tour due to transportation issues. But we gracefully got to BL Place. And it's the type of clubhouse Renaissance Club should have. The clubhouse site was set in a nice spacious type home, very spacious and humbling. At the tour, we went slightly by the skywalk. I went to part of the Nicollet Mall and I bought some DVDs. Then I went back to Block E to go to Applebee's for dinner, and I got surf and turf, fried shrimp and steak, a white chocolate blondie almond, and to drink 2 LaCroix that was filling. Went back to my room, watched Monster House, then went to the date for coming up. First workshop I did was like a no surrender type workshop. It was good, that not good enough. So I went to Connections Cafe and looked at my email. Had granola bar. I was dressed up early this morning with everyone thought I was presenting a workshop later on. So I changed my no surrender attire and gave me hope for this trip. Next workshop was one of my favorites. The topic was fundraising and I loved it. Elaine and I got ideas for future fundraisers. Then I went to ground floor and wait for the Mall America 12th International Seminar on Social Tour Bus. On a lighter note, I was happy that the chairwoman of the MCC, Reva Stein, showed up for the conference. And I'm also happy that Mr. Sinclair still had a straight happy face during the whole convention. When we came to the Mall of America, I was both nervous and happy. I couldn't believe how big the small was. You could fit 10 Gillette stadiums in this mall. In the future, they are adding more space to the mall, becoming the largest mall in the world. We rendezvoused at Jillian's, having an Italian buffet, but before I ate, I went to General Mills Cereal Adventure, located in the 3rd floor. It was an interactive visit that was really cool, but I was going to get my picture taken on a Wheeze box instead. I made my own cereal instead and looked delicious. Looks like I have to wait to see when I get home. I went back upstairs and had a buffet and bowled a string or two. The best part about this trip is the bottomless glass of soda. Then we went back to flashbacks and little ditties, where they served more free soda and dessert. Then I walked to the ground floor to see how big this mall is, and my feet hurt real bad. Then we took the car bus back to the hotel, and then I went to sleep. I crashed big time. Surprisingly enough, I had circular leftovers, so I placed them on the main station. Minutes later, they were all gone. I showed off a bowls on pictures to everyone around the world, including a very nice Scotch woman. She was so beautiful. Luckily, she was in the same workshop as me. It was the final workshop, and the presenters gave me a couple of lays. So I loved the final workshop. It was very cool. It was all about planning an employer's dinner. The speakers were from Hawaii and Helsinki, Finland, the host country for the next international seminar in 2005. The Finnish had their employers' dinner at their prime minister's home. After the workshop, I took a couple of good pictures of the Rassen in some of its stores. Also a couple of good people. Then I rested for tonight's gala request and took a lot of pictures of some of the international nationalities in the ICCD. Buttercup! Buttercup, come here! I tried a new food, asparagus. The dinner was excellent, and they gave us complimentary coffee mugs. There was a 10-piece soul disco band, and I was not happy that they were serving alcohol. I wasn't happy that they were serving alcohol at all. It really sucked. To the delegates, it was so easy to get major bottles of wine. After all of them got drunk, I left the banquet and watched the baseball game in my room. The game I was watching was the Cubs versus the Marlins, because the Red Sox-Yankees game was already done. I woke up and got everything finally packed. I checked out of my room and put my luggage in a safe spot, had my breakfast, said my goodbyes, and left the hotel in one piece. Then we got into the airport security, and was unbearable. I had to show my security the cameras, so the film wouldn't be destroyed. I was a little bit sad that I left Minnesota next stop Cleveland for only 30 minutes. I got my lunch, and then I took it on the plane. We finally made it to Manchester, New Hampshire. Jack greeted us as his brutally honest self, and finally, I was home to crash. Minnesota was fun for 6 days. I felt somebody very important. It wasn't just the Clubhouse Development Board. I was an ambassador. Not just representing Renaissance Club, but also my hometown team from Massachusetts. And my traits and beliefs that got me the trip into Minnesota, I had a wonderful time. It was recreational, educational, and informational. I met a lot of people and made lots of friends. I learned the lingo, its traits, and its heritage. I would love to come again when I have the resources. What's next? Now I'm going to talk about my trip to Helsinki. And here it is. This is the prelude to Helsinki, Finland. There are 229 days until the 13th annual biannual ICCD International Clubhouse Conference Seminar Convention in Helsinki, Finland goes on. And I thought the Northern Conference was a big party. When I went to the last ICCD International Conference in Minneapolis, Minnesota, October 2003, it felt like I was a whole new it was a whole new country. I was beaming and overwhelmed with excitement. It's not just like any conference you go to. It's one big party. To be selected to attend an international conference is like winning the lottery. But it's not just fun, games, and sightseeing. We are there to learn, to be taught, to have a functioning clubhouse, to be ready for certification, to network with other clubhouses, and to understand the cultures and lifestyles of every clubhouse in the whole entire world. The majority of delegates are from the United States, especially Massachusetts. Other delegates are from England, Scotland, Sweden, Australia, New Zealand, my favorites, Korea, Hong Kong, Japan, Canada, and especially the host country, Helsinki, Finland. The conference ceremony will take place in Finlandia Hall, hosted by Helsingin Clubhouse, the host clubhouse of Finland, and will be held on June 18th to 23rd, 2005. This is getting to 2005. The topics of the 13th International Seminar are Clubhouse relationships, Clubhouse support education, employment success for Clubhouse members, Clubhouse fundraising, Clubhouse research, substance abuse recovery, effective outreach, creating and maintaining effective board directors, and establishing a place in the Clubhouse for younger members. More information next month. This is Big and Bob. That's my story. But now we're going to Helsinki, Finland. And it's looking good for time. This is the long day one. After I left the clubhouse that was a little bit in the shambles, I packed my things in my program's van. Was off the Havel Clubhouse. Luckily, I made it to the clubhouse on time. I was traveling with two staff members named Carrie and Ida, who were real nice. An hour later, I packed my suitcases to go to the airport. Yes, Logan International Airport. We made it through the security checkpoints and metal detectors. After that, I went to the food court and had a Chinese dinner. Then I walked to the gate a little early when I saw all the clubhouse dignitaries, including Larry Marshall and the president of the Massachusetts Clubhouse Coalition, Reva Stein. Icelandair was the airline we took for the trip. We left Boston a little late, and I said goodbye to the United States. We were off to our first stop in Reykjavik, Iceland. We only stayed for only a few minutes to get the connecting flight to Helsinki, Finland. We made it to Finland in one piece, but one of my suitcases broke on me. Don't worry, I fixed it. The hotel we were staying in was at the Scandic Continental Hotel. It was much better than the hotel in Minnesota. The reason it was much better because it had a swimming pool. Before I went swimming for a cool dip, I registered both the front desk for my room and the ballroom to get my conference pass and my bag of tricks. A member of housekeeping helped me to my room. The first thing I did was turn on the TV so I can get used to the networks of Helsinki, Finland. My favorite network is MTV3. No, it wasn't a music channel. It was unique. I put my things away very nicely, then I went swimming. The water was a little cold, but I got used to it. When I got back to my room, I cleaned up and got dressed for the first part of the seminar, the welcoming reception. It was the same old song and dance. I met some of my old friends from the last conference, including the Asian Indonesian, and made some new friends. Then I walked around the streets, and to my surprise, I found a Subway restaurant, so I ordered a toasted Italian BMT club and 2 bottles of the Helsinki, Finland Coca-Cola. The currency in this country is the European Euro, and the value one is very tricky. I took it to go and walked back to my hotel to watch Survivor Finland style. Tananen. I woke up nice and early so I can be part of the breakfast buffet, and when the kitchen opened, I was floored. They had eggs, bacon, cocktail wieners, cereal, juice, the whole enchilada, including the kitchen sink. One of the major pains of this conference is walking to the conference hall, 2 blocks from the hotel. The name of the place is Finlandia Hall. The opening section was lukewarm. The section had Finlandian folk music. Our first plenary meeting was about clubhouse development around the world. This time there were 2 new clubhouses, one in Israel, they couldn't come due to personal reasons, and the other in Italy. It was the first clubhouse in that country called Clubhouse Itaca. Then, sorry to say, that South America still has no clubhouses. The lunch was a little bit okay, and the day's workshop was all about the best clubhouse director you can be. After the meeting for the day, I went for a nice swim and took a nice walk to find an eatery place for my dinner. Lo and behold, I found 2 burger joints. One was a place known worldwide as McDonald's. Yeah, McDonald's. And a new place called Hesburger. So I did what every American would do. I bought food at both places. After I was stuffed for the evening, I watched TV and went to sleep. Lo and behold, I woke up late, so I put on my sweatsuit and got my camcorder and tripod. Luckily, I still made it for breakfast. Then I ran to the conference hall. I was glad to make it to the meeting on time. So I set up my camera and started recording the plenary meeting. Before it began, RoBE, one of the head people, and David Sell, they had both from the ICD were so happy I was recording just in case they had problems converting the whole conference because the plenary was so good. But after the plenary, my battery was low, so I had to wait until tomorrow to record again. In the afternoon, I toured the host city's clubhouse, House in Clippertalo. If Elaine or Sharon had seen this, they would be green with envy. In the evening, I was invited to a board reception because I am a part of the Renaissance Clubhouse Development Board. The venue was a publishing company called Sonoma House. The food was over the top. They had cabbage rolls wrapped in like an egg roll and sliced. Okay, folks, get ready to hear this. I had reindeer. That's right. I had Rudolph. It was so tasty. It was rolled in field roll and stuffed with mushrooms. I had with the chili mayonnaise for dessert. I had a special bread cheese that tasted like caramel French toast. It also had a berry sauce. To repeat, once again, I ate Rudolph, and I'll do it again if it's served in the United States. This is day 4. Today was all about employment. RoBE and his employment all-star team started talking about employment around the world. They also had a discussion group about the ICCD employment guidelines. I filmed one tape and filled it with all the employment goodies. While everyone else was going to a social event, I tried to go shopping. But there was nothing I was very interested in the store. Even though I bought a DVD that didn't work when I got home. Then I went to a mall called Forum and had a snack of nuggets, fries, and a drink called Pepsi Max. This was before Pepsi Max was in the United States. Then I walked to see the scenery in Helsinki. Lo and behold, I found a Chinese restaurant near the hotel. The food was good, not great. It felt like a poor man's cooking because the food was all mushy and the sweet and sour sauce was too plain. After I ate, I watched TV, then went to sleep. I ate light for Wednesday's group of workshops, but first, the plenary meeting was all about the importance of clubhouse boards. The final workshop I went to was all tea and employee dinners. This is a fun workshop and a little serious. I think the whole workshop, not everybody wants it. I came back to the hotel to rest for a while. I took a shower and got dressed in my nice suit and walked to another part of the conference hall just for big dinners. Yes, it was the gala banquet. And people were amazing. Mostly every nationality was there. At my time, there were 3 representatives from Toronto. At my table, there were 3 representatives from Toronto, Canada, plus 2 ladies from Colorado, and 2 lovely ladies from Macau. Which one of them was Eva Yao? Now, the meal, it started with some European salmon. With a mascarpone and dill cream sauce, it was thick like butter, and it was the first time I ate salmon, and it was delicious. Then we had another first for me, guinea fowl. It tasted like chicken. Unlike chicken, it tasted like royalty. Like kings and queens ate it. For dessert, we had creme brulee. It was light, fluffy, and it melted in my mouth. The music was a little bit elation. It was a Wayne Singer type band. Even I danced a little bit. During the banquet, Mr. Belby was wooing the ladies, even the Chinese ladies from my table. I've never heard of that type of networking before. Anyway, I had a good time even though mostly everybody was drinking. Don't worry, no mixed drinks for me. I didn't drink at all. I just mostly had Coca-Cola, no alcohol. After the party, I went to bed. Today was the final day of the conference. It ended in good fashion, with an open mic of yours truly talking about the audience how I got here. After the conference adjourned, I went back to the hotel for my only day of vacation. I went back to the forum to have a major snack attack. I tried to go shopping again with no luck. So what did I do? I went swimming, of course, and had a conversation with a clubhouse representative from Utah. She was nice. We talked about major chit-chat. It was nice. I had dinner at the hotel's Restaurant Olivio. I had my usual double cheeseburger with french fries. For dessert, I had a creme caramel cake with vanilla and ice cream with caramel sauce. After watching TV, I packed my things, and then I went to bed. I woke up at 9:30 Helsinki time, and I took a shower and got dressed. Then waited in the hotel lobby and checked out of my room. Then I rendezvoused with Carrie and Ida, and we took the taxi to the airport. We had lunch at the airport cafe. I had my usual. Then I got on the plane and said goodbye to Helsinki. Then I plane landed in Reykjavik. Then I immediately took my flight back to Boston. Luckily, I made it through customs. The Naheebo Clubhouse big man showed up to take us to our homes. And not only I was home, what a relief, after I crashed in my bed and went to sleep. The day after I got back home from Helsinki, there was a major problem. The DVD that I bought did not work. I didn't believe the DVDs are regionally coded. This was my first international flight, and it was real fun. I saw many sights, many smells, and most definitely, many tastes. I can't believe I have to say this again. I ate Rudolph, and it was delicious. Please don't tell the kids, because they'll hit me with foam rubber baseball bats. It is going to be a long while till I decide if I want to go on international conference. But now it's somebody else's turn. Tammy, you might be next if it's in Florida or Hawaii. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to talk about Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's where I went in 2007. But let me explain. I did Minneapolis in 2003, Helsinki in 2005, but this is 2007. This is the last conference that I went to for a while. Milwaukee bound. It's that time again. It happens every 2 years. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the biannual ICCD International Seminar. It's on October 13th to the 18th. But I'm leaving on the 12th and we'll be back on the 20th because I'm taking the train there. This is the 14th seminar this time. It is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's like both a business trip and a vacation to me. The International Seminar is a combination of a conference, a convention, a summit, and one big party. I can't wait to see my friends again from other countries, Habataki, Stride, Phoenix, and all the Asian clubhouses. I would like to try some deep fried foods from the area and get my mom's belated birthday present. Don't worry, I will not drink any beer or any spirits of Oktoberfest. But I do hope there is a Schatz brewery, so I can be at the top of the brewery waving my hometown flag of Tingsboro. Maybe I'll be on YouTube.com. I don't know what happened, what to expect in Milwaukee, but I'm going to have a good time. In a couple months, the Spirit Renaissance will publish my international seminar report, maybe from many others who are going to the conference for the Renaissance Club, which I'm not going to go and either. Now, we're talking about Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is the big one. The reason I delayed my Milwaukee report is that I had some stuff to deal with regards to myself. I took a while to think what I was going to write. It took me a long time to think about it because of certain decisions I'm going to be making. When I woke up at 2 a.m. to get ready for the train trip, I was full of adrenaline, but I almost lost myself. Luckily, I made it in good time. When the red carpet saw me with all my stuff, he took me straight to the train, and I gave him a good tip. I was nervous. This was my first solo trip, but I was socializing with strangers throughout the whole trip, telling me who I am and what I'm doing for a living. One of the people helped me out to get to the next train. The seats weren't that comfortable, but at least I got good tips to rely on. One of the passengers knew a lot of people in Washington, D.C. One of his relatives took me into the train, and it was a little bit hectic leaving from Washington, D.C. to Chicago, Illinois, because my seat was right next to the train's lounge. I tried sleeping, but I couldn't. I tried taking cat naps, but I was still lethargic. The line was nice, but I got a lot of feedback from our passengers. Well, it looks like they are changing time zones, so here I'm going to try to sleep. Day 2. When I woke up, there was a little bit of delay, but sadly enough, I missed the connecting train. But luckily enough, my tickets to Milwaukee from Chicago was unreserved, which meant I could take the next train, which was at 1 o'clock Central Time, and I made it to Milwaukee in one piece. I called up my ride and took me straight to the hotel. The hotel was beautiful. I checked in both the hotel and the conference international seminar. When I got into my room, I was relieved. I called the front desk to see if other crew had arrived. Surprisingly enough, I was right. They took the later flight. I had the only one chance to use one of the facilities because they were going to close it up for the rest of the season. It was the indoor water park. I was relieved and refreshed that I wore my Code One's t-shirt and a pair of pants and went to the Crystal Ballroom where the welcoming reception was being held. They had the best roast beef I ever had. And you're never going to believe how big the roast was. I tried finding another place to eat, but I was too tired, so I went to bed. Before I went to bed, I was watching the baseball game. The Red Sox lost that day. I have a feeling they won't lose again. Then I called the front desk, and I found out that my crew came in, Betty came in, Jason, and Kristen. After they checked in, they went to the Miller Time pub where I was going to have dinner, my dinner. Good night. I woke up early and enjoyed a nice buffet breakfast. The butlers and waiters and waitresses were so nice to me, and so were some of the staff of the ICCD. One named Pauline was beautiful. To get to my preliminaries in workshops, you had to go through the fourth floor. In the same as Minnesota, there was a skywalk. I walked straight to the escalator, and lo and behold, I pressed the button, and polka music started to come out. In heaven there is no beer, that's why we drink it here. I wore my Tingsboro High football jersey, number 79, because today was the beginning of the conference. The opening ceremonies were great, nice and cheery and plentiful. Today, as the first plenary, they welcomed the new clubhouses. There were new ones from Uganda, Israel, and China. But China couldn't show up because of passport problems. My friend Eva Yao, who is still a clubhouse director at Phoenix Clubhouse in Hong Kong, was there. Surprisingly enough, the next plenary was funny, and I loved it. One of the board members of the ICD named Jack did a George Carlin rap. I had to pack up immediately so I can be ready for the first workshop. The first workshop that I videotaped was all about board development, which featured two of the head people in the Genesis Club. Surprisingly enough, I said something stupid, and Kevin Murray told me both the definitions of a development board and an advisory board. He will have to correct Elaine Walker when he gets a call from her. After the workshop, I got casually dressed with a t-shirt and sweatpants. But before I had to make a decision, it was either before dinner or the member party. I chose the member party. There were games, dancing, and international cookies. It was good. I tried passing out my computer CDs of stories I did, and luckily they were already wired with soda and coffee. They went back to my room, and I ordered room service. It was surprising they had for a room service menu. I ordered the ultimate cheeseburger. A burger with Swiss, mozzarella, cheddar, and American cheese. Fries for dessert. Fries, and for dessert, a deep fried cheesecake was so delicious. And I also had the house root beer. Root beer! Then I was off to bed. Day 4. Today they had sausage McMuffins for buffet breakfast. But before I went to breakfast, I went to Starbucks in the hotel because I felt lavish and glamorous. I had myself a mixed frappuccino. I still had breakfast though. I went to the skywalk to listen to the plenary setup. What I did was bring out my arsenal since there was no tables available. I found out that a waves table was a way to improvise showing up all my stuff. I had computer CD on my stories and DVDs of Renaissance fundraisers. I showed off my Bollathon trophies in the Bollathon family album. Plenary started with an introduction of a new clubhouse. Hero Clubhouse, or Hero Cereal! The Breakfast of Super Champions. It was just the usual plenaries, but they were interesting. The clubhouse person from Uganda, Veronica, was sitting right next to me while I was videotaping the plenary. Next was the director's workshop so I could get educated for Lynn Walker. I said something I shouldn't have said. Can we treat our director? I got a good laugh out of the workshop participants. Like yesterday, I didn't have lunch at the Crystal Ball. Instead, I went to Connections Cafe again. The Internet Cafe. Had a lot of good stuff, crackers and cheese, fresh fruit iced tea. And my favorite is hot chocolate and lemonade with lots of whipped cream. After that, I had a preliminary. I got out of the went for a workshop going to be how to plan an employee service function. But I changed my mind and said I eventually went to the social program workshop because I was thinking about John Wadman and Joe. If I knew they wanted to improve the social program, I would sit next to the MCC member leader from Hopedale, Massachusetts. One of the presenters I liked that workshop was named Allison. Allie for short. And one of the other presenters had an advertising scheme like no other. He had TV advertisements started doing with a bowling commercial, and they talked about Labor Day with pork chops and apple bake. One of the advertisements also featured on the videotape were cameras free quesadillas. It was for their Cinco de Mayo party. This social workshop was so much fun. I gave close-ups to a couple of presenters when I taped fans, including Allison. As usual, I said something stupid again because one of the presenters was talking about BC and all that stuff and Krispy Kreme. I told him I took notes. Boston College won over Notre Dame. The Patriots defeated the Cowboys. And stop talking about Krispy Kreme. We are Dunkin' Donuts people. I told Allie that she was a gummy bear. Was a gummy bear on Robot Chicken. But that Malcolm guy was really good. So I took a little walk to the shopping center. And to my surprise, there was no music store. So I went back to the hotel and had my dinner at the Mill Taiwan. I had catfish fried, beer batter chicken fingers, and with hot sauce, and I also had the mozzarella sticks. Kevin and Jason were watching the game when Dice came out to Zaka, blew the game when the Indians won over the Red Sox. I hope Wakefield doesn't screw them up. Well, then I crashed and went to bed. Day 5. I did my usual routine. I waited until Scott walked home to get ready. It was an important day at the workshop, and the topic of the plenary was Clubhouse Coalitions. My favorite person in the state of Massachusetts was on the panel, Reva Stein, the president of the Massachusetts Coalition. Everybody was cheering and applauding her. We knew Massachusetts Clubhouse are the best. So far, we have 32 clubhouses in the state of Massachusetts. Pennsylvania is trying to beat us. The first workshop was right up my alley. Advisory boards, my favorite advisory board presenter was there. His name was Alan Guitar. It don't mean a thing when you ain't got the board to up. It was very interesting, but the same as last time, I was opinionated and said something that I shouldn't have not said again. When Elaine sees to say she is going to kick me right where it hurts. Even dopes let me. I went to Connections Cafe for lunch. The next workshop I went to, Kevin and Kristen were there too. One of the presenters was Ruth Osterman of Genesis Club in Worcester. When I did something stupid again, I put my thumbs down to the presenters who were from Cleveland. I did this because Boston was still facing the Cleveland Indians in the ALCS. After the workshop, Barry told me that I did something wrong at the workshop, so he said there's something wrong. I called her up. Then she said she was really joking. There was no problem at all. I went to a good bookstore called Borders. But before I went to Borders, I went to the ICC, to an ICD and MC approved store, TJ Maxx, and got some souvenirs cheap. I bought 2 Green Bay Packers, each costed $20. Then finally went to Borders. It was a nice place. I got a Paul Newman Cult Classic DVD, a Mike Myers Cult Classic DVD, and a big, fat, expensive, big, fat book at a cheap price. I got spiffed up and went to the bistro. I was going to go to the chop house, but they were too expensive. So I went to the bistro instead. I had a better ultimate cheeseburger. That time they had every single cheese in the entire hotel cheese pot high. There were 9 varieties. I also had mozzarella sticks. They make up mozzarella sticks. They wrap it in a wonton skin and deep fry it. Not the way they make it at home. For dessert, I had another deep fried cheesecake with white chocolate on it. I also got gifts from my grandnephew Colby and my step-grandniece Megan. I brought 2 t-shirts and Mom, and I brought 2 cheesehead t-shirts for myself. So I cleaned up and went to bed. This is the storm before the calm, day 6. They went talking about employment at the Plenary, and it was a little dull, boring, but understood. My final workshop was all about fundraising, and it was very interesting. I think that the Renaissance Clubhouse should do Dancing with the Stars, like one of the clubs there at the workshop. This time I said something right. I told them about the Bullseye and Comedy Day and how we'd raised a lot of money. So finally, no more workshops for the others and me. The crew, Betty and Kristen, took a tour of the clubhouse. My turn is tomorrow. Lunchtime I had all the time, since I had all the time, I went to the Miller Pub and got a soda and mozzarella sticks. Then I took a nap on my bed for a couple of hours, got dressed, and went to what means one big party and gala banquet. I was ticked off. This is the only time the staff and members of every clubhouse, except for ours, got to damage brain cells. They brought wine by the bottle at $28 a pop. I'm very happy that none of my crew drank for the dinner and the banquet. I swallowed my pride and gave in a salad with grape tomatoes, red onion, romaine lettuce, and cucumbers. The main dinner was beef sirloin with green beans and mashed potatoes. Yes, Elaine, I ate the green beans. For dessert, there was a fruity dish. After the banquet, Betty and the crew went off to bed because their plane leaves in Milwaukee at 7 a.m. For me, I had the time of my life. I was dancing, taking pictures, socializing, and videotaping the gala banquet. And both teacher when the clubhouse want to buy some of my workshops that I taped. I don't know how many brain cells totaled for that whole clubhouse community destroyed. Sometimes they grow back and bite them in the wrist. When they played the song In the Mood, I told them to get a room, but they didn't listen. That's brain cell destruction for you. Don't worry, I didn't drink. I wanted to keep my membership at Branson's Club. It was fun. What I did next was watch TV and call my mother and went to bed. The brunt of the conference was over. There was a closing ceremony that the rest of the crew couldn't go because they were already headed home to Boston. I stayed for the closing ceremony. After the closing ceremony, I was going to the Wildlife, but alas, it was closed for the season. Before I went to my room, I took a tour of the host clubhouse, also known as the Grand Avenue Club. It was so beautiful. It had a good kitchen. I tried to take pictures, then came out good, but I wasn't able to develop them. They had a wonderful art museum. The clubhouse was so beautiful. I spoke with members and staff. I also had, they had chicken and french fries. Later I took the walk to the shopping center and had some Chinese chicken and a foot-long hot dog. Then I went to the Mealtime Pub for dinner and had regular bacon cheeseburger and chips. I drank a lot of soda, watched the baseball game a little, but packed on myself and went to bed. This is day 8-9. because it was a connecting. I woke up and went to Starbucks to have a lot hot coffee, then watched a show about muffin tops. I also watched Drew Carey on The Price is Right. I checked out a hotel and stayed in the lower lobby for an hour. I went to the Maritime Pub for lunch and the socialized with the bartender. I told him about Renaissance Club and the conference we had. At 3 o'clock, my ride came in. I was picking up, picking up other people. They dropped me off at the train station. Stupidly enough, the cops cited me for shaking the vending machine. I almost got into so much trouble because I'm from a different state. When they found I wasn't a criminal, I was safe. So I went to Chicago, picked up some dinner, pizza, and some Chinese fried chicken. I also bought some lifesaving Chicago Carry and took a train to Albany and tried the catnap. I woke up in the morning, had breakfast in the dining car. It was a little bit delicious, but fine. I also had lunch at the dining car. I was socializing, telling people everything that I gave on my card. I made it to Albany, everything I was lifting when I was home to Boston. I made it in by 10 p.m. Surprisingly enough, my ride was waiting for me outside of the station. I went to 7-Eleven, got myself a soda, and went home. I crashed in my bed. This is the end of Where to Next. I went to 3 international seminars, co-created our major fundraiser, the Bolton Mental Health Bowling, and have been on the Clubhouse Development Board for 5 years. That was written in 2007. That's quite resonating. Going to Milwaukee alone was a milestone in my life. Even though it was a good trip, some things need to be sacrificed. As I read this Milwaukee report, one of the things that is going to change, I am suspending my role and position in the Clubhouse Development Board until I see fit to return. The earliest I might come back is in 2009. It has to do with my grievances. That is the least of my problems. I just need to take a break. The latest will be in 2011 when the conference seminar is on foreign soil. I accepted my positions on being both Clubhouse historian and fundraising coordinator. It's a little bit misconstrued, but I'm going to be the boss of 2 donations coordinators. Elena, I know is telling me to call me the boss of donations coordinator, but we all know this. We all bosses in our lives. We make our own decisions. This is mine. I did not want to step down on the board, but I thought much of being suspended my actions before it got much worse. Next time I might be going to an international, you won't know until it happens. I thank you for your support. I'm going to check my projects. Thank you from the International Known Wolfing Spectrum. So, that's what it is. I do this for a living. This is what I did from 2003 to 2007. I'm doing fine, folks, but everything is going far as planned, and everything is going to go out fine. I see you guys right now. Always dare to dream. And there'll be a brand new type of RoBE coming soon. So I see you guys right now. Thank you for watching this live stream of my stories. So I see you guys right now. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching my show, and there'll be new ones to come. So thank you everybody for watching, and I see you guys. Good day.